Hello everybody, and today we are doing our 300 subscriber special. Thank you guys so much. And I just got done watching the Super Bowl. Let's go Bucks. And thank you guys. This is a highly requested what if. I've gotten about 6 comments total, which is our highest requested one. So obviously I had to make it a special one. So we start off, as always, Deku, when he is 4. One day, he wakes up as a little gibble. And he's walking around. And he's like, wait, why can't I move my neck very well? And then he looks down and is like, wait, I'm super short. And he calls her his mom, but she walks in his room only to see him on the ground. And then he's like, Izuku, is that you? And Izuku's like, hi, Mom. And Inka's like, to the quirk doctor. As the quirk doctor diagnoses Izuku's quirk as Garchomp. He put that as the name because because it's cool. And, well, just so this makes sense. Anyway, Deku, when he arrives at school an hour later, Bakugo meets him, and Bakugo is like, oh, hey, Deku, and Izuku's like, hi, Kanchan, and Bakugo's like, wait, you're Deku? And Izuku's like, yeah, I got my quirk, finally, and I can maybe be as awesome as you. And Bakugo is like, stupid Deku. You know I'll always be better than you. And Deku's like, nuh-uh, I'll surpass you one day. His class starts, and yeah, eventually they become rivals. And yeah, this one will not be a part of the Spoonomatic universe, guys. Sorry. Very sorry. And yeah. Anyway, Deku, when he is in middle school, one day he's being picked on by bullies for his very short-sized, basically just a big rock, compared to their normal height. And that's when Izuku pushes them away, and he becomes this sort of like Saiyan form, and that's when he starts to grow taller. He's like, wait, what's happening? As he turns into a Gabite, and Izuku's like, I finally got taller. And the bullies kick him in the face again, like, that doesn't mean you got that much taller. As Izuku then hits he puts his like giant blade into their leg, and the kid screams and immediately goes unconscious. And the bullies immediately run off. And the kid just bled there. And Izuku, he called the teacher and he told them what happened. And the teachers told them, I understand. And then they got him to the hospital. And Izuku was very happy because he finally got back to his bullies. And on the last day of middle school, Izuku and Bakugo meet up right as class is about to start. And Bakugo's like, don't even try going to UA, nerd. Even if you got this new power-up. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, sorry about the interruption. Someone was being an idiot. Anyway, Izuku and Bakugo, they have a little skirmish outside the classroom. The teacher, as he has the papers, he's like, okay, everyone seems to want to be a hero. And he sees Bakugo and Izuku fighting, and Izuku eventually cuts Bakugo's ear off with his giant blades on his arm. And Bakugo screams, and that's when Bakugo starts feeling the blow, like, Izuku, you jerk! As he goes for a giant explosion in his face, and right as Deku blocks it, And keep in mind, Deku has had this form for about 3 years. Well, no, 4 years. And Izuku blocks it and immediately realizes he's in the little Saiyan form again. And he grows even taller, and he's taller than Bakugo. And Bakugo realizes, oh crap. And Izuku hits him into the wall, and he's like, oh, that's nice. As Izuku walks into the classroom, and all the kids are astonished, like, oh, Izuku, you evolved again, it looks like. Izuku's like, evolved? And one of the kids is like, yeah, like evolution. And Izuku's like, oh, that's a good thing to call it. And Izuku sits down in his very small chair. And Izuku, sorry about that. And Izuku, as he's waiting, he sees an ambulance go somewhere else outside. He's like, there goes Bakugo. As the teacher walks in, he's like, sorry about that, students. Anyway, I got your career forms, and it seems all of you want to be heroes. I know you all want to, as he throws it up into the air. You'll all be great heroes, as Bakugo's not there, so they just keep celebrating, and eventually the teacher pipes them down, and he continues the class. So when the bell rings, Izuku goes outside with his notebook, with his very small notebook, and he's like, I guess I can't use this because I can't even read it now. And Izuku walks away. And Izuku, eventually, when he's going through a little underpass, sees the sludge villain, and when he tries to defend himself, he ends up using a dragon claw, and he slashes at the villain, and the villain is scratched, and he can't see out of his left eye, and this hurts the villain, and the villain's like, dang it, kid, I didn't know he'd be in town today, so stop resisting, as Izuku uses Dragon Rush on him, and that hurts the sludge villain. The sludge villain's like, what the heck? How is he actually strong? As Izuku starts overpowering the villain, and Izuku uses Earthquake, and this disrupts the villain, and the villain eventually goes into the ground, seeing this as good cover, and that's when All Might, which Izuku can't even see, that's how fast All Might's going, he quickly puts the sludge villain into the bottle and jumps back up into the crack. And eventually, he comes out, and Izuku's like, wait, what happened? All Might! As he steps back like, oh my gosh, All Might, can you please sign my notebook? And All Might's like, I already did, as he's about to walk away, noticing his steam is really going off now. Izuku's like, I have a question, All Might. And All Might's like, what is it, kid? And Deku's like, can I be a hero with my quirk? A good one? And All Might's like, of course you can, kid. You seem to have a really strong quirk. Even defeating a villain at your age, it's extremely good. And Izuku is very motivated now, and All Might then jumps over to the roof. And right as that happened, he immediately deflates, and he's coughing up blood like, that question cost me a little, I see. And he realizes that could have shortened my time limit again. Dang it. And, yeah. So 10 months of Izuku learning all of his abilities, since he trained in the beach area still. He learned that he had Dig, Earthquake as always, and Dragon Rush and Dragon Claw. That's what he named all of his moves, and that's his moveset. And Izuku, 10 months later, at the entrance exam, he does fine, but he has a really bad problem with trying to write with his pencil, so the teachers had to give him a big test. And, well, not a big test, but like a big paper. And Izuku, he does fine on it. And Izuku lines up for the practical part. And when President Mike says go, Izuku uses Dragon Rush and immediately dashes off to go defeat some villains because he's not as nervous now because he has this confidence boost from All Might because he knows All Might believes in him and he can't let him down. And Izuku is destroying tons of villains with like stuff like Dragon Claw and Dragon Rush, and that's when he sees a giant bunch of robots about to come towards him, and he uses Earthquake, and all the robots go down there and they're crushed. And he even gets some other ones, and that gets him a ton of points. It actually gets him 30. And Izuku now at 60 points so far. He is surprised, like, it's only been like 3 minutes, dang. And he then looks over at the leaderboard. It says Izuku Midoriya 60. And Izuku's like, oh my gosh, I'm in first. And he keeps destroying robots. So near the end, he has about 130. And Izuku's like, I might have done worse near the end, but this is fine. As he uses another Dragon Claw on a one-pointer, and he hears a cry for help, and he uses Dig into the ground. He eventually finds Uraka very quickly, as her leg is stuck, and she's like, help me, please, the 0-pointer. And Izuku looks up and sees the 0-pointer, and then he goes Mega. And yeah, but this is only for a short burst because he has no grasp on this power yet. So he goes Mega Garchomp mode, and he jumps over to the robot, and with his giant blade on his arm, he uses Dragon Claw, and it hits the robot's head, and it slices it in half, and the head falls off, just sliding off, and the robot falls down. And Izuku's like, yes, I did it, as immediately he drops back into his form and falls unconscious because of the stamina loss and the strain it takes on his body to use that form when he's never used it before. Anyway, Izuku is having a second thought, like, did I really get in? Was there a threshold? I didn't check the leaderboard. And he realizes, wait, like, number 10 wasn't even at 5 points last time I checked. So I should be good. And 4 weeks later, he gets a letter in the mail, and Inko's mom gets it. Why did I say Inko's mom? Inko gets the mail and brings it over to Izuku while she's running. He's like, Izuku, the letter! And Izuku gets in and shuts his door. And while Inko's pacing around his door, Izuku opens it, and he finds All Might, and All Might greets him. He's like, welcome, young Midoriya. You seem to have placed very high in the entrance exam. Well done. I always knew you would be a great young hero. I was not expecting this, though. Good job, young Midoriya. I know you'll be a great hero. And I will be teaching you, and I will be the new teacher at the UA staff this year. Welcome, Midoriya, to your Hero Academia. As the letter ends, and Izuku's like, oh my gosh, All Might will be there. And Izuku walks in over to his mom. Is like, Mom, I got in, and they start celebrating. And the next day, Izuku, right as he's about to leave the door, Inko gives him this giant little suit that she made, and she's like, I'm sorry for not supporting you as much on your little journey, Izuku. I understand you having this weird quirk, especially when you were younger and all the big kids. I didn't exactly believe in you the best. So, I just want to let you know, I believe in you, Izuku. As Izuku's like, I know, Mom. As he takes the suit and walks out of the door. And eventually when Izuku gets over to the UA campus, he's like, let's go. He walks into the UA, he's like, so I have class 1A. And after about 10 minutes of trying to find it, he just barely gets in before the bell, and he has like 20 seconds to talk, and he's expecting a quiet class. He sees Bakugo's there, and people are yelling, and Izuku's like, this won't be a great class, I see. And Izuku then turns around to see Kirishima, and he's like, oh, sorry, you can go. And Ejiro is like, oh, thank you, bro. Nice job on destroying that robot I saw in the entrance exam. That's very manly of you, dude. And Izuku's like, oh, thank you. And Kirishima is like, oh, something got you down, bro? And Izuku's like, no, I'm just not used to praise like that. And Kirishima's like, oh, I understand. Well, it seems I've already got one friend. Nice. As he walks into the class, and Izuku's like, oh, this will be fun. And as Aizawa is explaining what they'll do today, he tells them all to get on their uniform and walk outside. And Izuku and Kirishima walk outside, and I'm gonna say Kirishima. This is a bold move, I understand, guys. Kirishima has won for all in this. This is something I saw in like one What If one time, and it seemed interesting, so we'll do that. Anyway, so this is what'll happen with Kirishima's quirk. So his Red Riot form that you see in like season 4 of the anime, he already has that, but like at full power. And yeah, he's kind of OP. Anyway, Deku, not expecting himself to be first place, he's surprised when Aizawa was like, with a unanimous victory, Izuku Midoriya, you may go first. And Izuku's like, wait, what? And Aizawa was like, you had 200 points on the exam, with 130 villain points and 70 rescue points. Good job, Midoriya. Anyway, come on. And Izuku, getting ready to throw the ball, he uses a Dragon Claw, and right as he's about to do this, he sees the claw disappear, and he looks over to Aizawa like, did you do something, sir? And Aizawa, with his hair standing up, is like, dang it. And he drops his hair back down. Izuku's like, wait, you're Eraserhead. Wait, you're the person who expelled the entire class last year. Crap. And Aizawa was like, I'm happy I'm well received. And Izuku uses a Dragon Claw now, and he throws the ball as far as he can. It goes quite far. It goes about 1,030 meters. Izuku's like, yes, that training paid off. And Kirishima then goes next, who actually had 81 points, beating Bakugo by 1. And Kirishima, he uses his Red Riot form well. Red lightning is coming off of him, and he throws it as far as he can, but his arm, as soon as he throws it, becomes purple. He's like, ow! And he does that, but the ball does go 1,200 meters, and Izuku's like, amazing. What a strong quirk. Red lightning, it looks like, and hardening. And Bakugo then goes and gets his 805 meters, and everyone being super surprised when they see Uraka with infinity. And yeah, the rest of the physical exams go as according to how you would think, and Izuku ends up getting 4th, Kirishima in 2nd, and Bakugo in 5th, and Shoto in 3rd, and Momo in 1st. And Izuku's happy. He's like, I'm glad I wasn't anything close to being exploded. That's when Mineta starts crying like, no, you can't do this to me. I didn't even get to date a girl. And Aizawa hears this like, I was going to say it was a rational deception. But you don't seem you even have the audacity to become a hero. You don't have the heart, clearly. And Mineta's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I do. I just want to get popular with the ladies. And Aizawa says, pack your stuff up, kid. You're leaving. And Mineta starts crying. And Deku's like, don't you think that's a little unfair, sir? And the girls are like, nope, not at all. And Izuku's like, oh, okay. And that happens. Anyway, the next day, All Might walks in the door, and he tells them all, I'll be teaching your class today, kids. And everyone's like, All Might, let's go. And they're all excited. And Izuku then is waved at by All Might. He's like, oh my gosh, All Might waved at me. And All Might tells them all to get their hero costumes out, and that they'll be doing hero versus villain training, and to meet him outside. Anyway, Izuku walks outside with his little green tracksuit, but just imagine it's really big and can actually fit where all Izuku's body parts are. Even the little teeth things on Izuku's arms. Anyway. Yeah, I need to stop saying he has hands because I need to accept the fact he does not have hands. He just has these giant blades. So, basically, pencils are impossible. How does he do it? I guess he'll just talk. And anyway, Izuku and everyone are matched up into teams, and Izuku is put with Uraka versus Bakugo and and he's quite psyched about this fight, finally beating up Bakugo with nothing to stop us. And Bakugo, as soon as it starts, Bakugo comes out of the corridor facing them. He's like, I don't forget what you did on the last day of school, Izuku. I won't forget what you did 10 months ago. As he immediately sends out one of his gauntlets at them. And he does it like an AP shot, so it's extremely powerful. And Izuku defends it with his blades. And he's like, are you okay, Uraka? And Uraka's like, yeah, I'm okay, Deku, but what do you want me to do? And Deku's like, go find the bomb and maybe distract Ida. I'll fend off Bakugo. And Bakugo keeps attacking Izuku, and eventually Izuku takes both of his blades out from blocking and stabs Bakugo only a little in the chest. Bakugo's like, dang it. And Deku then follows this up with a Dragon Claw, hitting Bakugo in the head, and then using Earthquake, actually kind of breaking the building. And Bakugo's like, dang it, Deku, how are you so strong? As he falls into one of the cracks in the ground. Bakugo barely not hitting the ground with his explosion. He's like, saved. As he shoots another one of the gauntlets at Deku, and Deku's like, petty. As he uses Dragon Rush, immediately dodging the grenade shot and hitting Bakugo. And he hits Bakugo in the chest, and Bakugo's like, dang it. As Deku then follows this up with Dig, as he goes up into the ground. Right as Bakugo's just about to fall down, he comes out of the ground and uses Dragon Claw with this Dig, and hits Bakugo really hard, hitting him up into the roof, and Bakugo falls flat on his face, knocking him out. Anyway, Deku then ties him up and walks away. And Ida, not getting any response from Baku, is like, crap. As Deku walks in and he's like, oh, Uraka, have you done anything? Uraka's like, I spotted the bomb. And Deku then eventually gets to them. And Deku immediately doesn't care for covering. Deku uses a Dragon Cloud, hits Ida's mask off while Ida's off guard. And Ida's like, dang it. As Deku then uses Dragon Rush and hits Ida into the wall. He's like, Uraka, the bomb! And Uraka then, right as she's about to jump on it, Ida comes out of the little wall crater. But right as he's about to kick Uraka out of the way, Deku takes the hit. And this sends Deku a little stumbling back. And he sees Uraka touch the ground. All Might then says over the loudspeakers, heroes win! And Deku's like, yeah! And he's like, dang it. And Bakugo then wakes up and he's like, that dang nerd! And that's where I'll be living off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for 300 subscribers. Or 299 anyway. This is Brushy signing off. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. And today we're doing What If Deku Had Garchomp's Abilities, Part 2. And this was a really popular What If, already at 500 views. So good job, everybody. So we will continue this right after the hero versus villain training part. Anyway, so basically straight to the USJ. And as 13's explaining the rules, she's telling them like what they're gonna do and stuff, and they walk in and Kirishima points out, wait, what's that portal in the middle? And Deku's like, portal? And Aizawa was like, wait, a portal? And Kirishima's like, oh, cool, they even have fake villains. And Aizawa is like, everyone get behind me, as Shigaraki peers out the little warp gate. And the gate then starts to expand, and all the villains start coming out. As well as like, everyone, stay back. This is a real villain. And all the students are like, real villains already? And Izuku's like, we can take them. I know we can. And Bakugo's like, at least I can agree with something with you, freaking nerd. And Izuku then fist bumps Bakugo like, let's do this. As both of them, right as they're about to go for the villains, Aizawa pulls them back like, you two stay here. We cannot afford any casualties. And Izuku's like, oh, come on. And Bakugo's like, just let me and the nerd go. We can take them. As they see the giant bird creature come out. And Izuku's like, maybe not that one. And then everyone else. And then the portal closes. And it all goes into this one guy in a suit. And Aizawa's like, just stay back. As he jumps down there. And Izuku, then, immediately after that, he goes to the side, but he will, if Aizawa has trouble, help Aizawa. And Bakugo's like, where are you going, nerd? As he starts to follow Izuku. And as Izuku settles in his spot, Bakugo peers behind him like, what are you doing, nerd? And Izuku's like, if Aizawa needs help, we can just help him. We can't let our teacher die. But I do want to get on some action, so maybe we can defeat the villains that come over here. Bakugo's like, fine. As one of the villains then come over to him, and Izuku and Bakugo ambush the villain, and Izuku puts him in a chokehold, and Bakugo then explosions him point blank. And yeah, that happens. Anyway, Aizawa then hearing this like, they're here. and he starts defeating the villains faster. But Izuku's like, well, he already knows we're here, so might as well help. And they help Aizawa defeat the villains. But eventually they run into Shigaraki. And Shigaraki's like, you brats. As he runs over to Aizawa, but he, Aizawa thinking he has some kind of strength quirk. Aizawa tries to tie him up, but Shigaraki immediately calls for the Nomu, which basically starts to demolish Aizawa. And when Bakugo and Deku start trying to hit the Nomu, they see it's doing nothing, and they're astonished, like, how? My claws can't even do anything. Neither can your explosions. As they keep trying to even make a scratch. And Shigaraki then comes from behind like, where are you two kids going these days? As he puts 4 fingers on Deku's neck like, don't move, both of you, or else this kid gets it. And as I was like, this is just the thing I thought would happen. That's what he's thinking, but in reality he can't even speak now. And Izuku and Bakugo are on the ground and Shigaraki looming over them. And that's when Shigaraki then spots someone who looks like a frog and a short kid in purple. And he then tells the Nomu to go deal with those two. And the Nomu immediately blitzes over there. And Shigaraki is about to follow them before Deku immediately gets up and cuts his neck. And Shigaraki stumbles back. Raizu's about to say, Nobu, kill this kid. Izuku stabs him. And he's like, be quiet. As the Shigaraki then falls to the ground, unconscious. And mortally wounded. And Aizawa is like, good job, student. Now go get the others and escape. We can't defeat them. We can't defeat that thing. And that's when they hear a giant thing bust through the door. And Izuku immediately looks like, what now? And they see All Might there. And he's like, who's touching my students? As he immediately blitzes down there, and the Nomu and him have their fight. Anyway, after that, the next day, after All Might's done recovering from his battle injuries, well, actually, no, he hasn't recovered yet. The next day, Aizawa announces with all his bandages on that they will be having the sports festival. And Izuku and everyone else is like shocked, like, already? And Aizawa was like, you had 1 week to prepare. And yeah. Anyway, so 1 week later, they arrive on the bus, and yeah. Izuku, Bakugo, and Shoto all come out of the bus at the same time, like, hey, let me out. And Shoto just steps back, and Bakugo and Deku fall down the little stairs. And they start bickering, and Aizawa just hits him away, like, come on, nerds. As they all go into the sports festival. They all get on their blue uniforms. And Izuku also has his giant uniform. And Izuku is told to do the pledge, and he just says, I hope we can all try our best, and I hope for a good fight. And the crowd starts cheering, and everyone likes that speech, unlike Bakugo. And Bakugo is like, you could have at least told them that I was going to win. And Deku slaps Bakugo like, we all know I'm going to win, dude. Just be quiet. And Bakugo's like, is that a challenge, nerd? And Midnight then starts the first event. And Deku and Bakugo, who are being competitive, immediately blitz out into first. And Deku flying, and I've been told that Garchomp can fly. Garchomp Deku is flying high up in the sky, much faster than Bakugo. And Bakugo like, at this rate, I won't be able to catch him at all. And Deku flies over the 0-pointer and the little hole in the ground part. And Bakugo, who just got past the 0-pointer, is like, how is he so fast? And Shoto then freezes his legs like, wait, what? And Shoto then is like, if I can beat you, I can at least hope for second. And Deku then gets to the minefield, and he's just going he's just flying above it. And he then sees Shoto using full power of his ice trying to beat Izuku, but Izuku just flies over all the minefield while Shoto has to actually dodge it. And Bakugo is also right behind Shoto. And Deku just flies under the little finish line, and Izuku is pronounced the winner. And yeah. And Shoto and Bakugo get second and third. Anyway. And yeah, everyone else gets their normal spot. So it's basically the normal standings. Anyway. Izuku, Tokoyami, Bakugo, and I'm gonna say Kirishima are all on a team for the what's it called? I forget what it's called, but it's the cavalry battle. And yeah, in the cavalry battle, that's the team. And Bakugo, since he's pretty good friends with Deku, he let it slide that because they both had the most points. And instead of wanting to fight Deku, he accepted the challenge of being targeted. And yeah, Shoto had a really strong team in Shoto, Uraka, Momo, and Denki. Yeah, instead of Ida for speed, they have Uraka for flying. And yeah, to counteract Deku's flying part. And yeah, anyway, Izuku, when the match starts, he immediately starts to fly. And yeah, Deku, since he is he's the person on top. And yeah, Bakugo is like, dang nerd, that's not the point. And Izuku's like, I can just chill up here the whole time. Bakugo's like, get down here right now, nerd. That you know that's not no challenge. And Bakugo encourages Izuku to get down there. And Izuku comes down. He's like, you know, I guess you're right. And Bakugo's like, heck yeah, I'm always right. And Izuku then hits him on the head like, no one likes you either, Bakugo. And yeah. Shoto then arrives immediately behind him. And Izuku's like, oh, crap. And Bakugo then sends in a prototype form of the AP shot at Shoto and it hits him directly in the face. And this sends Shoto flying up into the air. And Deku flies up and then uses Dragon Claw and, like, spikes him down into the ground. And he's nearly disqualified, but he landed on his team just in time. And yeah, while Shoto is recovering, Izuku comes back down and welcomes anyone to the challenge. And that's when Bakugo, being the horse part, he uses his explosions to start using the little AP shots he's using, and he starts shooting them at the stronger teams. He doesn't care about the weaker ones. And with teams like Shoto's team, you know, they're really picking on Shoto's team. They're trying to get them so much points. And yeah. So, basically in the end, Izuku's team wins by a good amount. Shoto's wins second. And I'm gonna say the same normal teams. Except instead of Bakugo's team, because Bakugo is, well, he's in Izuku's team, I'm gonna say Team Monoma gets in. So, you know, you got the air guy. You got Monoma. I don't know the other two. And, yeah. All I know is there's the guy with the solid air quirk because I watched some My Hero episodes and I know Monoma because it's Team Monoma. I have no idea who the other two are. Anyway. Izuku starts off by fighting Hitoshi Shinzo. And he's questioning, like, so he doesn't seem to have a physical quirk. And he doesn't seem to have any type of quirk at all, it doesn't look like. And Izuku, right as the match starts, Shinzo starts insulting him, and Izuku's like, this jerk, as he says in his head. And he uses Dragon Rush and just tackles him into the ground and then throws him out. He's like, that was surprisingly easy. And Shinzo, like, he just ignored me. And Bakugo's like, what a weird fight. How did he even get into here? And that's when all the fighters that were on Shinzo's team quit because they're poo-poo heads. Anyway, next match, it's Deku versus Todoroki. And yeah, Deku immediately starts off the battle by flying up into the air, and then right as he's coming down, he becomes Mega Garchomp, and he starts spinning really fast in a vertical angle, and he's coming down like a giant saw blade on Shoto. Todoroki then does the giant ice pillar at Deku, but Izuku's just mauling through it, and eventually he hits Shoto, and he makes this giant cut on Shoto's waist, but Shoto was able to... I'm just going to say Todoroki. I don't know why I keep calling him Shoto. Anyway, Todoroki then moves out of the way as he's bleeding from the waist. Like, oh, crap. Wasn't expecting that. And Deku, in his Mega Garchomp form... Let me find a picture for that right here. Mega Garchomp. And yeah. I'm not gonna say he's pink, guys. It may be awesome, but it's still pink. Anyway. Izuku then starts trying to stab at Shoto, like, oh, you pesky little thing. Because Izuku is a slow, but, like, strong one, but Shoto is very versatile. And Todoroki then uses a giant block of ice and hits Izuku up into the air. And Izuku then asks him, like, come on, use your fire already. This is getting boring. As he flies up into the air, is like, you know I can just keep doing this over and over. And Shoto's like, as he uses a little fireball at Izuku, and Izuku just cuts right through the fireball as he's coming down as a giant saucer again. And Shoto's like, I'm sorry, Toya, as he ignites into flames. And yeah, Todoroki, Glamoroki, uses his move we see in the sports festival near the end. He uses that giant ice and fire move and uses it on Deku. And Izuku then is encased in a purple aura as he says, Dragon Rush, as he goes even faster. And his saucer form becomes even bigger. And it's cutting through all the ice, but the fire is overpowering Izuku. And eventually, the crowd sees Izuku on the other side of the arena and Todoroki in the middle. And Deku looks back like, there's no way. And he sees Todoroki fall to the ground immediately, like, as half of Todoroki's middle finger came off. Yeah, he can't finger you guys anymore. Pog. And yeah, Todoroki's like, that hurt, Izuku. And Izuku then, also, guys, so this is how the saucer move works. Izuku doesn't try and cut their head off, obviously. Izuku tries to pinpoint one part of the body that is like a weakness part, and they're like exposing it, aka Shoto's middle finger. And yeah, can we get some middle fingers in the comments, guys? No, Shoto's middle finger. It's just say in all caps the Shoto finger. Anyway, Shoto right now is shooting giant fireballs at Izuku, and Izuku's just whapping them away. It's like, it's over already. As he uses Dragon Claw and hits Shoto up into midair, and then he jumps, and with both of Izuku's arms, grabs Todoroki by the waist and throws him out of the arena vertically, and Todoroki lands on his neck. And he sort of does a little jump as he is hit out of the arena. And he's like, ow. As Todoroki's immediately gone to Recovery Girl. And Midnight's like, with a gruesome victory, we have the winner, Izuku Midoriya. And Bakugo's like, that was a bit much. And Uraka's like, for the one who's gonna fight him next, I'm scared. Yeah, I'm gonna say we change a little bit of the orders here. And next we have Deku versus Uraka. And Uraka's like, I just don't want to lose a limb. As Midnight starts the battle, and Izuku uses Dragon Rush and hits her up into the air. It's like, maybe I can do this quickly. As he grabs her by the waist and throws her near the outer area. And Uraka catches herself by floating. And Deku's like, I forgot that was her quirk. As he then comes up into the air and with his spiky arms, like, he basically spikes her with his Dragon Claw. And it hits her down to the ground. And she's just barely hanging on to the arena. And she's very hurt, like, how is he this strong? And Izuku's like, for one of the faster people in our class, I would expect you to be stronger. And Izuku then grabs Uraka and starts just pushing her out of the arena. And Uraka tries to fight back, but Deku then uses Dragon Rush to keep running. And he throws her out of the arena. Uraka's like, I'm happy I didn't lose anything. And Deku's like, you got lucky. As he walks away. And Midnight's like, the not as gruesome victory, Izuku Midoriya the victor. And Izuku's like, obviously, what other result? And Bakugo then defeats Kirishima in his semifinal round. And that's when Midnight announces the final battle. Izuku Midoriya, the very gruesome brawler, versus Bakugo, the ego. And yeah. Izuku then starts off the fight by using zigzag movements with Dragon Rush. And he uses Dig. And he goes into the ground, and Bakugo's like, where is he going to come out of? As he then says here, as he shoots an explosion down, and Bakugo's like, he faked it? As Izuku comes behind him and uses Dragon Claw and scratches Bakugo in the neck. And Bakugo starts fumbling with his legs as he falls onto the ground, like, dang it. As Izuku uses Earthquake, and you can imagine this hurts Bakugo. Bakuho as always. Anyway, Izuku starts absolutely demolishing Bakugo. And near the end of the battle, Bakugo's like, I will not lose. As he jumps into midair, and Izuku sees this explosion tornado. He's like, what is he doing? As Bakugo shouts, Howitzer impact! As he starts going towards Izuku, and Izuku's like, what's he doing? And Izuku is then hit by the attack with the giant explosion, and Deku didn't even get to block it, and he's just barely holding on by a little bit on the edge of the arena. He's like, I was not expecting that. Bakugo's like, how did you live that, you dang nerd? And Izuku then, seeing the opportunity, uses Dragon Rush, and he tosses him up into the air. And Haikyuu style, he spikes him out of the arena, as always. And Bakugo's like, you've been watching too many animes lately, Izuku. As he accepts his defeat by the meganess of Garchomp. And that's where we'll be leaving off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all the support recently, as always. And I just want to have a little announcement. Anyway, when it's my birthday, which is sometime during July, I won't let you guys know, I will be transferring my channel to my own email account because this one is currently on my mom's. Just want to let y'all know that. Anyway, this is Rushy signing off. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. And today we're doing What If Deku Had Garchomp's Abilities, Part 3. I was looking through things to do because I hadn't made a video in 2 days. So I was looking through my most popular videos, and this happened to have nearly 1,500 views for Part 1 of this series. So I felt it naturally just deserved a full series. So I'll be going back to the ones I want to finish, and I'll be doing any video with a Part 1 that got over 1,000 views. It'll get a full series. So yeah, that's what we'll be starting on the video. On to the video. Okay, guys, so we start this one off right after the sports festival, and Deku is given the golden medal by All Might, while Bakugo is patched into the... No, he's not patched in the ground. He's not as aggressive in my what-ifs, because I don't like making him rude, because I hate him enough already. So, you know. Anyway... yeah, so Deku and his squadron, so Deku and everyone now are picking hero names the next day. And Deku looks over to his friends, like, what are you guys picking? And Uraka's like, I have an idea. And everyone... no one shares their name, obviously. They would not dare do that. And Deku eventually walks up to the... to Midnight. And he's like, I feel this one fits me. As Midnight says, reveal your board, as it says Chompy. It's Izuku's like, I feel it kind of fits in with my quirk. And, Midnight's like, yeah, I feel that goes with yours perfectly. And, yeah. And everyone else does theirs as usual. So, Deku, the next day, arrives to his agency. And he'll go to Endeavor's because he's more of a strength one. And Endeavor, knowing that he did win the sports festival, he'll focus on him with his second priority. Because originally, he had Todoroki top priority, and then the others second priority. But now Deku and Todoroki were a bit of first. Deku, because he clearly had potential And he felt if one day if Deku ever got number 1, he might credit to Endeavor, and Endeavor would be liked. So Deku tells Endeavor, like, so what will we be doing first, sir? And Endeavor's like, I'm going to change my plans. You and Shoto follow me. As they both go into the training room, and Deku's like, so what will we be starting with? And Endeavor's like, as he points to the sandbag, and he says, let's see how far you can stab into that. As Deku throws his massive, arm knives into it, and it goes straight through it. And Endeavor's impressed, like, Jesus. And Endeavor's like, so I saw your flight speed. How fast is it? And Deku's like, well, let's see. As Deku jumps up and then flies into the sky as fast as he can. And he actually nearly goes out of the atmosphere because he has to stop himself. And he then flies back to Endeavor. And Endeavor's shocked, like, that was extremely fast. Jesus. Well, I want you and Shoto in a one-on-one. I want to see who to prioritize here. I would like to prioritize my own son, as you would know. But you have some potential, kid. As Deku lines up against Todoroki, like, I beat you once, I can do it again. As Todoroki immediately starts off by throwing a massive blast of ice, and Endeavor shouts at him, like, use your ice. I mean, your fire. Why did I say ice? And Endeavor shouts, like, use your fire side, Shoto. And Todoroki still refusing because Deku just, in my what ifs, he never does that. And Deku looks over to Shoto, like, it's your power. It's not his. Just fight me full power. And Todoroki then realizing, yeah, it really isn't his. It's my quirk. He bursts into flames. And Endeavor is like, thank you, Izuku. As Shoto immediately starts gaining the upper hand against Izuku. And Izuku eventually gets the jump on him when he was using Dig. And he comes up right in front of Todoroki, gets up into the air, and Todoroki is scared, like, crap, I know how fast he can fly. As Deku immediately flies as fast as he can, and with his foot, gets out of his, plane form and stomps on him into the cement floor, like in this picture. And Shoto is really hurt by this attack, and Endeavor's like, smart. Wait, why did I say cement? Just the floor in general. And Deku then looks over to Todoroki as he grabs his hair and then throws him up into the air. And yeah, he then shouts, Dragon Claw, as he slashes Todoroki on the chest and then kicks him into a wall. And Deku's like, it seems this fight is over. Why don't you just give up, Shoto? After all, we can only go so far in the battle. As he lifts up his knife arms, and Shoto then, realizing, I can't let this old man down. He ignites into flames, and he makes a massive fire and ice crystal ball, and then throws it at Izuku. And Izuku's like, that's what I like to see. As he then starts extracting energy from his own body, and eventually makes an energy ball in front of him, and then shouts, energy drink. Why? What? Okay, I need to get this. So, Deku then shouts, "Darkness, corruption," as the entire energy ball erupts into darkness, and Deku then makes it into a sword. And Deku's like, "This'll work," as he gets into his flight form. And he rushes at Todoroki's blast. And Todoroki shouts like, "Full power!" as Deku cuts right through it. And Endeavor is like, how anticlimactic. And Shoto comes out of the fight with a massive cut right under his right arm from the slash. And Deku came out with nothing because he won. Endeavor broke them up, and Izuku looks over to Shoto like, "You're strong with your fire. Definitely keep trying with that one. You almost got me a couple times there, but when I came out of the ground, it was all over after that." And Endeavor then looks over to Shoto like, "You need to improve with your fire set if you're going to start using it. You need to definitely improve. You can maybe get stronger, but just, I'll train you personally, Shoto." And Izuku? There wasn't really flaws in your game. I couldn't find one flaw you did. I mean, I guess expand in your moveset? All you have is 4, really basic moves. You have a slash, an energy blast, dig into the ground, and then earthquake. Well, you can cause an earthquake. And then you can fly really fast. And Deku is like, I guess so. As throughout the next week, Izuku developed a Shadow Ball. Yeah, I'm just gonna start giving him random moves, guys. And Deku also got Double Team. And Izuku's like, "I got 6 moves now." As on the last day, before they went over to Hosu, Endeavor was challenged by Izuku. And Izuku's like, "I challenge you, sir." As Endeavor's like, "That's not a bad idea. It is the last day after all." As Deku, when the battle starts, and Shoto's watching, Deku immediately goes into the ground, and he's zigzagging so Endeavor can't anticipate his movements. And Endeavor says under, as Izuku does a zigzag and actually comes up from in front of him, and with his knife arms, cuts him on the cheek, and he then bounces back off the wall right in front of Endeavor. And Endeavor is like, "You twat," as he makes a fire javelin and throws at Izuku. And Izuku dodges it easily, hopping into the ground again. And instead of just hiding from him, Izuku goes up into the air and, doing the same thing he did to Shoto, flies right into Endeavor. Except instead of tackling him, Izuku with his knife arms cuts an X onto Endeavor's chest. And Endeavor, now bleeding a lot, he's like, "You're strong, kid." But who said I was trying? As Endeavor made the entire floor erupt into fire. And Izuku's like, "Crap," as he shouts, "Fiery earthquake," as he stomps on the ground, and the earth, just the ground below them, starts to crack. And it does damage to Endeavor, obviously. And Endeavor gets knocked back by the attack. And Endeavor then, eventually, near the end of the fight, got Izuku in a, what's it called? A full Nelson. And he pinned Izuku to the mat and then kicked him into it. And then jumped back and yelled, "Prominence burn!" As when he does that, Izuku blocked it. But when the smoke came out, Izuku barely got up. And Izuku's like, that was rough. As Endeavor's like, holy crap, kid. I thought you'd be unconscious for sure after that. As Endeavor then throws 3 javelins over to Izuku. And Izuku, knowing he can't really do anything, he then is like, oh wait, yeah, that blast. As he shouts, "Darkness corruption." And he sends his blast all the way to Endeavor. And Endeavor just makes a massive ball of fire with his hands and then sends it over to Izuku. And when the energy blasts collide, the arena around them starts shaking a lot. And Bakugo, why did I say Bakugo? Shoto is like, yeah, this is getting bad. The entire building's collapsing. As Shoto's like, guys, you should stop. And they just ignore him. And Izuku flies at Endeavor and knees him in the face. And then, with the same thing he did to Shoto, slams him into the ground. And Endeavor is like, get your feet off me, student. As Izuku is like, I'm the victor here. As he's like, Dragon Claw. And he starts using lots of Dragon Claws on Endeavor's wound on his chest. As Endeavor cries out in pain, Izuku's like, you have enough yet? As he keeps Dragon Clawing the wound. And the wound is really deep now. Endeavor is then pulled back up into the air, and Izuku is like, this is my final attack, as he makes a massive shadow ball and sends it into Endeavor. And when Endeavor is sent into the ceiling, he then falls onto the ground where Izuku kicks him into the wall. And when the smoke settles, Endeavor is unconscious. As Izuku's like, yes, I won. As he falls unconscious also. As Shoto's like, holy crap, Izuku won. Just to immediately succumb to his injuries though. But Izuku then got Shoto got everyone to the hospital. And Izuku had lots of burns from from Endeavor, obviously, and especially the prominence burn, which was hurting him a lot. And Endeavor was actually knocked out right as the shadow ball happened. So when Izuku kicked his wound and him into the wall, it hurt a lot for Endeavor. So Endeavor actually was in there for 1 month. And Izuku, when he went back to school, everyone asked, so how'd it go? And Izuku's like, I fought Endeavor, and I put him in the hospital. As they're all like, you put Endeavor in the hospital? No way. But he's in the hospital right now, as Shoto points out. And Uraka's like, holy crap, Izuku. You are stronger than the number 2 hero. As Izuku then points out, but right as he fell unconscious, I later did. And Uraka's like, at least you could beat him. Most of us won't even have a chance against the number 2 hero. I wonder what you would do against All Might. As Izuku's like, that's a good question. And we go all the way until the final exam. And yeah. So when Izuku and everyone finish their written exam, when Izuku's team goes first, and when he's blitzing over to All Might, when Bakugo and Deku are now bickering, All Might knees Deku in the chest, and Deku spits out blood like, that hurt. And Bakugo is hit into a building, which nearly knocks Bakugo out. And Deku then jumps back like, he's quick. But how quick? As Deku gets into the plane form and zooms towards the exit. And when Deku's right at the middle of the city, All Might, who's running at full speed within his legs, is just behind Izuku. And All Might keeps grabbing at Izuku, but he can't exactly touch him. And All Might is still surprisingly fast to Izuku. And Izuku's like, how is he that fast? As All Might eventually catches Izuku on his tail fin. And he makes a massive spin with Izuku's plane form and launches him full force into a building. And when Izuku, eventually, when the smoke clears, Izuku is revealed to be all bloodied and beaten to like a pulp, it looks like. And when Bakugo arrives back, he sees Deku come out of the smoke. And Izuku's like, you are very strong, All Might. Very fast also. As Izuku is nearly blacking out. And All Might can tell. And All Might then blitzes towards Bakugo like, now let's make this an easier one. As he throws Bakugo up into the air and then starts figuring out how to knock Deku out. And All Might then just jumps over to Izuku. And when he's about to finish it off with a gut punch, Izuku blocks it and then screams in agony because he blocked it with his arms, but, you know, the punch broke his arms. And when Izuku is shot into the building again from the force, Izuku is not able to get up. As Izuku's like, I think we've actually lost this. As Izuku then gets into his flight form as All Might jumps up to Bakugo to finish off the exam. Izuku blitzes towards the exit in his flight form, which is only at half speed. But he eventually arrives at the exit, and when he goes through it, he sees All Might right at the exit where he was. As Izuku's like, you are quick. And All Might's like, I forgot about him, as he walks away. And they hear over the announcer, Izuku Midoriya and Bakugo Katsuki win! And Bakugo, who was tied up, is like, the nerd actually won. Wow. And yeah, we now go on to the summer training camp. And when they get to the camp, they are met by the wild pussycats. And as always in the story, they're all put into the forest, and Izuku decides not to fly out of it for the challenge. And they eventually get out. And Bakugo is like, where's the dinner? I'm so hungry. As when they're all done eating and they start to do their training the very next day. And Izuku focused on mastering more moves. And he was focusing on combining darkness, corruption, and shadow ball. And he eventually got it. And he called it dark aura. And yeah, that's his new move 7. And yeah, so Izuku was now quite overpowered. And near the end of the camp, they do a toughness test. And they all go out in the woods. But by the time Bakugo and Todoroki's turn, they start smelling smoke. And Izuku is like, villains. And then Izuku spots in the distance with his very good eyesight, Dabi. As Izuku, is like, Eraserhead, can I have a dart? As, Eraserhead, who is playing with darts, and he's like, fine, whatever, kid. As, Izuku throws it like a baseball at Dabi's eye, and it hits Deadeye. It hit his eye, and it blinded Dabi in that eye. And Dabi, when he opens his left eye, is like, oh my god, as he yanks the dart out, and is like, I'll kill whoever did that. I'll kill them all. No one will be spared. As, yeah, everything normally happens. And Izuku flies over to Koda, who he saw go over to the cave, but he didn't know Koda as well as he did in the anime. And Izuku, when he sees Koda nearly get killed, he yanks Koda away and is like, who are you? As Muscular yanks off his hood like, I'm the one who's gonna kill you both. And Izuku then is like, okay, I'd like to see you try. As Izuku is like, Dark Aura. And he uses Dark Aura, and the energy blast goes blitzing towards Muscular, and Muscular just kicks it away. And eventually, Izuku is overpowered by Muscular. And Izuku's like, you know, my one trump card. As he reaches out of his pocket, like, I promised I would never use this for the challenge, but I had to use this sometime. I never thought I would. As he touches his finger with the mysterious stone, and his appearance starts to change, and he becomes a mega Garchomp. And yeah, we will look up together what he looks like, you guys. There he is. Even better. Better knives. As, yeah, so Izuku, when he comes out of the evolution, Muscular's like, oh my god. A costume change? Really? You think that's what'll save you? As Deku immediately outspeeds Muscular and stabs him through the heart. Like, there's a reason I don't use this form. It hurts people around me. As Izuku's mind starts playing tricks on him, and he sees Bakugo, where he stabs Muscular, and Deku's like, no, that is not what just happened. I saw who I killed. As he hits his head and sees it was Muscular, like, I will not let that thing happen again. Not what happened 11 years ago. Flashback to 11 years ago. So when Deku was a normal Gibble, one day he found this little stone when he was in the stream. And Inko wasn't watching him, so he was just off on his own with no one around him. And Deku taps his finger with the stone. And then Izuku immediately erupts into a Mega Garchomp with this orange glow in his eyes, as you see in the picture. And Deku immediately goes on, like, a rampage. And since he was only 60 officers, excuse his 40 murders, because he was a 6-year-old. And Izuku tells them why it happened. He tells them about the mysterious stone. It made him all crazy. And they never minded taking the stone. Okay. And, yeah. So, Izuku, he's a bit blacking out because this strength was way too much for him. That's why he blacked out the first time. As Izuku's like, no, I'm not doing what I did last time. As he runs into the forest and defeats the rest of the villains that he did in the original. But when he's launched towards, what's his name? How could I forget the... Mr. Compress. I don't know how I forgot his name. So, when Deku launches towards Mr. Compress, he uses his full speed and cuts Mr. Compress's arm off. It was a premature one. So, when Deku does this, Compress screams as Deku kicks him into the ground, and Dabi's like, we lost. Great. As Deku has both of the marbles. And he gets Bakugo and Tokoyami on his back. And Deku then starts flying towards the camp and drops him off, then goes over to Dabi like, did you get my little present? As Dabi's like, that was you. As he immediately erupts into blue flames. And Dabi's like, leave everyone. Leave this to me. As Deku just keeps dodging. And Deku's like, I'm in my strongest form. I don't think you could even beat me in my normal form. So what are the odds you can do it here? As Deku blitzes towards Dabi, and with a little stabby stab from his knife, makes Dabi bleed. It was a cut straight through Dabi, except it was through his gut. And Deku then kicks him onto the ground like, less villains at least. As no one was around for the fight, so no one knew what Deku did. And after that incident, the camp was just finished. And yeah. And Momo, right as the Nomu was leaving, she got with the other class's student, he infused the tracker into the Nomu. And yeah. So, a week later, we time skip to Deku and everybody who were trying to secretly help the heroes. Instead of saving Bakugo, they were trying to see what they could do. They wanted to do something here. And when they're right next to the All for One building, when Mount Lady crushes the building, and then everyone is blown back, and All for One is there. And I'll say All Might was, a lot stronger Deku is like, where's All Might? As All Might immediately appears in front of All for One. And yeah, they do their fight. And near the end where All Might was about to do his United States of Smash, Deku comes out of the little crevice and cuts All for One's head off with his mega form. Like, there you go, All Might. As All Might's like, what have you done, kid? As in front of live television, Deku cut his head off. But the media guy was like, we have a hero. He just defeated the #1 villain. Nice job, kid. You just saved All Might. And the audience starts clapping. Some people are a bit disappointed, but most are clapping. Next, we go to the Overhaul Arc, which is basically the same. Deku can't do much for Mirio, doing this. Mirio is hit before Deku gets it. So, Deku actually just really beats Overhaul a lot faster. That's all that would happen there. And the school festival, that's the same thing. You can't really change anything. He still beats Gentle Criminal, just, easier. And yeah. So yeah, that's where we'll be leaving off, ladies and gentlemen. This is Call Me Rushed, signing off. Bye-bye.